Chapter 29 from West African Folk Tales by William H. Barker. Read for LibriVox.org by Tammy L. Coles. King Chameleon and the Animals. In the olden days, all the animals of the world lived together in friendship. They had no one to rule over them and judge them. In consequence, many very wicked deeds were constantly being done, as no one needed to fear any punishment. At last they all met together to discuss this bad state of affairs, and, as a result, they decided to choose a king. The great difficulty was how to choose him. Lion was the first animal suggested, but all opposed him because they said he was too fierce. Wolf was next named, but the sheep and goats refused to have him because he was their foe. They knew they would have bad treatment if he were chosen. As it was impossible to please everyone by choice, they decided in another way. 2 miles away was a great stool, placed under a very ancient tree which they believed to be the abode of some of their gods. They would have a great race. The animal which reached and sat down first on the stool should be chosen king. The day of the race arrived. All animals, great and small, prepared to take part in it. The signal being given, they started off. The hare, being a very fine runner, speedily outdistanced the others. He reached the stool quite 500 yards ahead of the next animal. You may judge of his annoyance when, just as he was going to sit down, a voice came from the stool saying, "Take care, Mr. Hare, take care. I was here first." This was the chameleon. He, being able to change his color to suit his surroundings, had seized Mr. Hare's tail just as the race began. Having made his color match the hare's, no one had noticed him. He had held on very tightly, and when the hare turned round to take his seat, Chameleon dropped off and landed on the stool. The hare saw how he had been tricked and was very angry. The other animals, however, arrived before he could harm the chameleon. According to the agreement they had made, they had no choice but to make Chameleon king. But none of the animals were satisfied with the choice. So as soon as the meeting was over, all scattered in every direction and left Chameleon quite alone. He was so ashamed that he went and made his home at the top of a very high tree on a mountain. In the dead of night, you may hear him calling his attendants to come and stay with him, but he is left quite alone. A king without subjects is no king. End of chapter 29. This recording is in the public domain.